Good morning, students. Welcome back to history lecture. Today we are going to do the recapitulation of the chapter number 1, Historiography Development in the West. Now, first we are going to see the introduction. What we have studied in this lesson. Historical research, writings, and the studies is a continued process for understanding the chronology of the past events and their interconnection. Historical research is done by the scrutinizing historical documents with the help of relevant historical references. Methods useful in history research are the archaeology, archival science, manuscriptology, and epigraphy, etc. In this lesson, we have covered the 4 points: tradition of historiography, modern historiography, development of scientific perspective in Europe, and historiography, and the fourth one is notable scholar. As I told you, historiography means the study which the historian are doing, and that study is called as a historiography. As we all know that whatever happened in the past we called it as a history, and there are many people those are doing the study of those past events and things, and those people are known as the historians, and the study which they are doing, it is called as a historiography. So now you all understand what is historiography. And development in the West. What development happened in the West, that we have already studied in this lesson. So let's begin with the first point, that is tradition of historiography. What we have studied in this point, the writing of critical historical narrative is known as a historiography. Ancient communities all over the world use various means like cave painting, storytelling, singing songs and ballads, etc., for passing on the stories of life and valor of their ancestors to the next generation, as they were passing their valor or their history to the next generation through all those means. These traditional means are considered as the sources of history in modern historiography. And all those traditional means like singing songs, then telling stories, then the cave paintings, they all traditional means are considered as sources of history in modern historiography. As we have seen the historical research method, writing of historical narrative, in that the following points are very important. The chart is given on page number 1, historical research method, writing of historical narrative. To write the historical narrative, these are the 6 points which are very important. First one is examining the relevant references of the available historical information. Second one is collecting historical information, highlighting the process that lead to the historical transitions, carrying out comparative analysis. Third one is understanding the references regarding time and space of the given historical events, and also various conceptual frameworks used in historical research method. Fourth one is formulating relevant questions in view of historical research. Fifth one is formulating hypotheses, and the sixth one is critically examining of various sources of history. Then we also studied about the methods of various disciplines are useful in historical research. Which are the methods or which are the disciplines or the different subjects are important in historical research? The first one is archaeology, archival science, manuscriptology, epigraphy, study of the inscription, analysis, lettering style, linguistic means the study of language, numismatics means the study of coins, and the genealogy means the study of lineage, etc. Now we are going to move to the second point, that is modern historiography. What we have learned in this modern historiography? We saw the first main characteristics of modern historiography. The first one is based on scientific principles, begins with the formation of relevant question. Second one, these questions are anthropocentric, related to the human life. And the third one is answers are supported by the reliable evidence. Fourth one, History presents a graph of mankind's journey with the help of past human deeds. So, these are the four characteristics which we have seen in modern historiography. Then we studied the short about the history. History is originally a Greek term used first by the Herodotus and the Greek historian in the 5th century BCE. He used it for first time in his book entitled The Histories. And that is why Herodotus is also known as the father of history. Now the third point of this lesson is development of scientific perspective in Europe and historiography. In this, we studied that by the 18th century, scholars had come to believe that social and historical truth can be studied by applying scientific method. So, with the help of the scientific method, we can study the social and historical truth. Then also we studied that in the year 1773 CE, the Göttingen University, having an independent department of history for the first time, was founded in Germany. This was later followed by all other German universities. As the universities, they also come to know that we should have a separate department of history. We should study about our past, and that is why the different universities they started founding the separate department of history. The fourth point of this lesson is notable scholars. Now we are going to study about the few scholars which are very important, as they have done very important contribution in the development of historiography. And the first one is René Descartes. He was born in the year 1596 and died in the year 1650. He was the foremost among the scholars who insist on verifying the reliability of historical documents by critically examining them. The rule from his book Discourse on the Method, never to accept anything for true till all grounds of doubts are excluded, has created a great impact on the scientific method of research. So that was his thinking, and he was telling that we have to verify all the reliability of the historical document. We have to critically examine that, and then only we can write the history. To write the history, he has written some rules, and the name of that book is Discourse on the Method. And he, through that book, he is telling us that we should never accept anything for true until all grounds of doubts are clear. So first we have to clear all our doubts. We have to examine that document properly, and then only we can say whether that document is correct, and then only we can write the history. Then the second one is Voltaire. He was born in the year 1694 and died in the year 1778. His original name was Francisco Mario Oret. He was from French. He believed that understanding all aspects of human life is important for writing history. So he was telling that we have to understand all the aspects of the human life, which is very important for writing the history. All aspects of human life means we have to consider the social tradition, trade, economy, agriculture, etc. was also important in historiography. While writing the history, we have to consider all those things, and that was his opinion. And he was the founder of modern historiography. Then the third scholar is George William Friedrich Hegel. He was born in the year 1770 and died in the year 1831. Hegel was a German philosopher. He was from Germany. He insists that the historical reality should be presented in logical manner. According to him, the timeline of historical events was indicative of human progress. He proposed a method of analysis known as dialectics. In that, the first one is proposing a theory is called as a thesis. Then the second one is proposing another theory contrary to the thesis is called as a antithesis. And the third one is arriving at new thesis after through logical discussion of the above two is called as a synthesis. So according to him, grasping the meaning of any event happens in terms of two direction opposites. Human mind cannot understand the true nature of that event without understanding the opposites. For example, true and false, good, bad, etc. In order to understand the true nature of a thing, one needs to know both true and the false. Similarly, good and the bad. For example, if any event happen, what are the good about that event and what are the bad effects of that event, that both we have to study. And this method of analysis, which based on the opposite, is known as a dialectics. In this method, a theory is proposed at the beginning, which is called as a thesis. So whatever they are going to propose in the beginning, whatever they are going to say in the beginning, that is called as a thesis. Another theory is proposed which is contradictory to the thesis. It is called as a antithesis. So whatever theory we are going to represent, the opposite of that theory is called as a antithesis. So whatever the good things about that event, what we are going to write, that is called as a thesis. So on the basis of that, I am going to give the bad effects of that event, and that will be my antithesis. It is called as a antithesis. After a thorough logical discussion of both, new thesis is proposed, which includes the gist of both the thesis and the antithesis. This process of arriving at the new thesis is called as a synthesis. Synthesis is a combination of both good and bad. So the first one is good, second one is the opposite, that is bad. So we will now do the discussion of good effects and the bad effects. So whatever the good effects are there, we will take that, and whatever the bad effects are there, we will also consider that. And after that, we will propose another theory by taking into consideration both good points and the bad points, and we will prepare the another theory, and that is called as a synthesis. Now the fourth scholar is Leopold von Ranke. He was born in the year 1795 and died in the year 1886. He emphasized on the utmost importance of information gathered through original documents. He criticized the imaginative narration of history. So what he was telling, that he was giving the importance of information which is gathered from the historical documents instead of the narration of the history, because he was not believing in the storytelling or the narration of the history, because if we are going to do the narration, then some points will be added. So that is why he was not believing or on the imaginative narration of history. He was only giving importance of information gathered through the original documents. He also stated that all types of historical documents associated with the historical events needs to be examined with the greatest care. He believed that with this method, it is possible to reach the historical truth. If we are going to examine all the historical documents with great care, then only we will able to reach the truth of history. He wrote 2 books. The first one is The Theory and the Practice of History and The Secret of World History. Now the fifth scholar is Karl Marx. He was born in the year 1818 and died in the year 1883. According to him, history was not about abstract ideas, it was about the living people. So he is telling that history is not about the non-living thing, it is about the living things, about the human being. So he proposed that human history is a history of class struggle, a struggle between the rich and the poor, and that is why he was telling that history is a human history or a history of a class struggle, a struggle between the rich and the poor. He wrote one book which is very famous, and the name of the book is Das Kapital. A treatise written by him is the most referred book all over the world. Now the sixth scholar is Michael Foucault. He, through his method, the archaeology of knowledge, proposed that rather than arranging the historical events in chronological order, explaining the transition in history is more important. So he is telling that we should not give importance of arranging the historical events in chronological order, but we have to explain the transition, the changes happen in history is more important. So instead of giving importance to the chronological order, we should give importance to the changes happen in the history. What is the event, or because of which event there was a change in the history? So that is very important according to him. Next we are going to learn is Annales School. This was started by the French historian, which gave a new direction to the writing of history, and because of this Annales School, it gave direction to the writing of history. It believed that history was not only about the political event, king, great leaders, war, but also about the local people, climate, agriculture, trade, etc. So, according to this school, they were telling that history is not about the political events, about the great leaders or the kings, but it is about the people, climate, agriculture, and trade. Next, we studied about historiography. It emphasized not only on the inclusion of women in history, but also on the rethinking of the male dominative perspective of history. So, according to the feminist historiography, they were not telling that women should be included in the history, but they were also on the rethinking of the male dominated perspective of society. So, we should think about the male domination society. In that male domination society, the women should also get the part, and that was the main objective of feminist historiography. The writing of Simone de Beauvoir helped in establishing the fundamentals of feminism. It drove historical research to focus on the depth on various aspects of human life, such as their employment, their role in the trade union, institutions working for their cause, their family life, etc. In the historical writing after 1990, women were portrayed as independent social class. So these are the things we have already covered in our lesson. We have just done a small recapitulation of this lesson. Hope you all have understood this lesson. If you have any doubt, you can ask me. Now we will move to the exercise which is given on page number 6. Filling the blanks. It may be said that Dash was the founder of modern historiography. So who was the founder of modern historiography? Voltaire. Very good. Second one, Dash wrote the book entitled Archaeology of Knowledge. Who wrote this book? Michael Foucault. Second question is very important. Identify the wrong pair in the following correct. When you are writing this answer, that time you are going to write the first wrong pair. You will write wrong pair. In front of that wrong pair, whichever is the wrong pair, that you will write. On second line, you will write correct pair, and whatever is the correct answer, that you will write. So the first one is George William Friedrich Hegel, and he wrote The Reason in History. It's a correct one. Second one is Leopold von Ranke. He wrote The Theory and the Practice of History. This is also correct one. Third one is Herodotus. He wrote The Histories. That is also correct one. Now let's move to the fourth one. Karl Marx. He wrote The Discourse on the Method, and that is the wrong pair. What he wrote? He wrote the Das Kapital. So I'm going to write the answer. On answer part you will write wrong pair, Karl Marx, Discourse on the Method. On the second line you will write correct pair, Karl Marx, and what is the correct answer? Das Kapital. I want everyone to write in this format only. Next one, explain the following concept. The first one is dialectics. And the answer is, in order to understand the true nature of a thing, one need to know both true and false. Similarly, good and bad. This method of analysis based on opposite is known as dialectics. Second one is Annales School. A new school of historiography arose in France at the onset of 20th century. It gave a new direction to the history writing. History is not only about the political events, kings, politics, war, but also about the climate, local people, agriculture, trade, technology, means of communication, social division, and their psychology. The Annales School was started by the French historian. So, this will be your answer. Question number 3. Explain the following with its reason. The first one is historical research was driven to focus in depth on various aspects of human life. And the answer is in feminist historiography after 1990, women were portrayed as an independent social class. Feminist historiography restricted aspects like employment, trade union, institutions were included. If you have written your own points, then also it's okay. I have only given you the short answer, so you have to write that answer properly. Second one is Foucault called his method the archaeology of knowledge. Foucault felt that explaining the transition in history is more important. He acknowledged areas of historians such as psychological disorders, science of medicine, prison administration, etc. He argued that the prevailing practice of events in chronological order is not right. So, here also you will add your own points. I have given you the short answer. Next one, question number 4. Answer the following 25 to 30 words. What is historiography? So, whenever you are going to write the answer of this question, that time first you are going to explain what is historiography. So, the writing of historical critical narrative is known as a historiography. Then you will add your another point. So, first you will start the answer with the definition of historiography. Second question is, what did René Descartes insist upon? So, what René Descartes was insisting on? On the first line, you will write about the short about introduction of René Descartes. Then on the second point, you will write what he was insisting on. The verifying the reliability of the historical documents by critically examining them. So that will be your second point. Now let's move to the next question. Why is Voltaire said to be the founder of modern historiography? Again, when you are going to write this, first you will write the short introduction of Voltaire. What is his original name? Then you will write what was his opinion. And the third point you will write that why he is considered as a founder of modern historiography. Then the next question is very important. Complete the concept map. Notable scholars in Europe. So you know which are the notable scholars or the very famous scholars of Europe. So the first one is Voltaire, second one is Karl Marx, third one is George Wilhelm Friedrich Hegel, and the fourth one is Leopold von Ranke. Now the next one is answer the following in detail. The first question is explain Karl Marx class theory. So here you are going to explain the Karl Marx class theory. First, as I told you, whenever you are writing about any scholar, that time first you will do a small introduction about that scholar. Then you will write about his ideas and about the class theory of the Karl Marx. Second question, what are the 4 main characteristics of modern historiography? The answer is on page number 2. So they have given us the 4 main characteristics of modern historiography, which you can copy and write. Then the question number 3 is, what is feminist historiography? So in a feminist historiography, come to the page number 5. From that you are going to write the answer. Students, always pay attention. Instead of copying the answer from the digest or the target or the reliable, you have to find out the answer from your textbook. If you're going to write the answers from the textbook, you will get the more marks. So whenever I'm giving you the question, that time you have to prepare your own notes on that question, and you have to send me so I can check and I can tell you whether it's a correct or wrong. Now here you can write, the feminist historiography means the restructuring of history from the perspective of women. Then the feminist historiography emphasized not only on the inclusion of women in history but also on the rethinking of the male dominated perspective of history. It drove historical research to focus in depth on various aspects of women life, such as their employment, their role in trade union, institutions, working for their cause, their family life, etc. In the historical writing after 1990, women were portrayed as an independent social class. Now, the fourth question is, explain Leopold von Ranke's perspective of history. Move to the page number 4. First, you will write about the Leopold von Ranke. Historiography of 19th century was greatly influenced by the thoughts of Leopold von Ranke of Berlin University. He spoke about the critical method of historical research. He put emphasis on the utmost importance of information gathered through original documents. He also stated that all types of documents associated with history needs to be examined with greatest care. He believed that with this method possible to reach historical truth. He criticizes imaginative narration of history. So that was the perspective of history of Leopold von Ranke. So here is the end of this lesson.